All right. Well, welcome everybody. This is our first in our the Digital Accelerant interview series that we're talking about. We're interviewing our digital card owners and how they get success from the digital card, if they're getting success, what they're doing. This is an education piece. If you have a digital card, to get you guys to learn more and how to properly position yourself. If you don't have one, it's a good way for you to figure out that you probably should get one. But anyway, so my guest is Jayden Doye, who is a CPA. His keyword is CPA to 21,000. So we will say that a number of times, and probably you'll see it run across your screen a number of times. So welcome, Jayden, and thanks for doing this for us.
No problem. I'm happy to be here.
So a couple of questions, selfishly, I want to ask you, as to you even told me that we met like a year ago, and it
Hmm.
was and all of a sudden you popped up in my calendar, probably in late November sometime, and looking at a digital card. What from the time that we met and until the time that you decided you wanted to get a card, what was kind of moving you towards getting one? What kind of what made you think to actually, I guess, pull the trigger at that time?
That's a great question. So when we met at a real estate networking event, and I remember you had the large digital card. Yep, there we go. But you had another one that had the running. It
Oh
was
yeah,
like a light. Yeah, and so I mean, like I said, it's really hard to forget someone like that. And just like you told me, what you're doing is not what people are bringing to the market. It is innovative. And so at the time, digital business cards were, it was on the rise, but I think that physical business cards were sufficing at the time. And so now that we've had to pivot our businesses due to COVID, the world is now in a whole digital space, right? And so for me personally, now that I'm speaking in a lot of these group meetings, these group networking calls, there is I need a new way to get people my contact information. So because I'm doing a lot more speaking in groups, I've incorporated using the 21,000 digital business cards.
very good. And did you do any research in any other cards, or did you compare it at all, or?
I did compare to other platforms, not necessarily the ones that where you can text to get the card, but
Hmm.
more of the ones where you have to be in person and then you tap the card, or you can send your card to someone. But it just makes more work for me personally, and I want to make it as easy as possible for the consumer. So this one seemed to be the best option. I do now see one other service, but it's not a simple 21,000. It's like a full-blown text number, a full-blown phone number that you have to text. So
Hmm.
it's not as convenient as saying text CPA to 21,000.
Right. And so, well, how since you've gotten it, I think you got it. You got yours in early December. How have you used it to grow your business so far?
Absolutely. So I use an app called Clubhouse. It's an audio only app. So it's an audio only social media app. And so what I do is I oftentimes will host rooms in the app, or I will go into rooms that where the subject matter is relevant to my profession. And I go in that room and I provide value. So sometimes I'll talk about the PPP. I'll talk about what new business owners need to be aware of when it comes to their accounting and taxes. So by providing value to the masses, the rooms are anywhere from 20 to 200 to 2,000 people, then people know that I am the industry expert because there are a lot of frauds out here. Believe
Hmm.
me, so many people
Hmm.
call themselves a tax preparer but have no accounting experience. And so by giving them information that they didn't know before, providing them with free ebooks and things of that nature, I'm the one that is providing them value, and that shows them that I'm the one that they should be working with. So then they will, and then of course I always say, if you want to further this conversation or if you have a specific question regarding your specific situation, then you'll need to book a consultation. Since it is a public platform, I don't want to discuss confidential things on a platform like that where everyone's listening
Sure.
and it's being recorded. So always tell them to text CPA to 21,000 and they'll have my business card and they can book a call.
Very good. So, since you've gotten your card, can you point to like tangible results of business that you've gotten and how your business has grown? Is there anything you can point to and tell us about?
Absolutely. So before I would have maybe one discovery call booked a week from my social media efforts. And so since incorporating this method to where they can text CPA to 21,000 and book a call, let's see here. So for my first month, there were 139 people that opted in, and then from the time that I've gotten the number to now, it's been 173. So now I have those phone numbers to market to later on. If I have any promos going on, or I have any type of events I'm hosting, or I want to just reach out to prospects and pull some new clients in, that's something tangible. In addition to that, I went from having an average of four discovery calls to over 17 in within that first month. And now, not all of them closed, but a good amount of them did. And so easily brought in, well, December, I had a six-figure month, believe it or not.
Hmm.
It was so amazing. And I will say that a good part of that was due to being able to make it easy for people to book a consultation.
Very good. Excuse me. So you'd say you obviously got your money back and then some in your first
Oh,
month.
absolutely. I mean, the return on investment is well over 500% at this
Mhm.
point.
Wow, that's very strong. So, this story has kind of, this story is no secret to me because we've talked about it before, but and I've talked about it too, in my social media circles, and some of the other digital card owners are really excited about it. But that and you are getting stellar results. I will say that.
Thank you.
And there are other people who are killing it too, but once you put it out there about how well you're doing, the other digital card owners that want to know, they want to say, okay, well, how is he getting it out there? How's he getting that many people to text his keyword? Besides, I mean, you mentioned Clubhouse is one, and that's something that's kind of an interesting thing for those of you who don't are not familiar with it. From what I understand, it's a social media app that's only exclusive to iPhone, exclusive to invite currently, as it's in kind of some form of beta format. But besides Clubhouse, what are you use? How are you? What other ways are you using to get it out there?
So my branding altogether, I try to do a good job of making that consistent.
Hmm.
So right now, I'm also a certified profit first professional. So what I've been doing this month is educating other entrepreneurs on ways that they can make their business profitable. So through social media. And so that's the thing, like for those who have a digital card that are looking for ways to get more people to opt in, you have to provide people with value up front and give them a reason to text the number. Don't just say text the number. You have to think about it from the consumer standpoint. If you were a consumer, what would make you pull out your phone and text that number? You either need further information or you want to book a call. And in order for someone to want to do that, you have to create that need, because sometimes people don't even know that they need you. Some people don't even know that they need a CPA until I explain to them that their last tax repair has completely left them in the dark with the fact that you're in the wrong tax entity. You're overpaying taxes. These credits and deductions are available to you. So create that value, educate your market, and then just give them a little snack. And then if they want the entree, they have to text the number to 21,000.
That's actually very astute, and and it might be even something that I will take that point to heart. To excuse me. So No, I think that's a really good thing, that, and I think the other digital card owners will really benefit from that. Um, so you really have you talk a lot about your brand, and you seem to build a very solid brand on online. So what's the inspiration behind it all?
Well, for me, I did not, I've done extensive research on marketing and branding
Hmm.
because I know the importance of it. And I didn't, when doing market research on other CPAs and other accounting professionals, what I see is a very common, boring theme. You see them with their arm crossed, you see them by the window smiling. To the side, you see them with calculators. And honestly, that's a little boring to me. It's a little outdated. I consider myself a very innovative CPA, my business model is very innovative. And that same innovation needs to be portrayed in my marketing and branding. And people need to know that I I'm different. I'm a CPA, but I'm also approachable. So I want them to feel comfortable. I want them to feel like I am professional, but I can still hold a good conversation with you. And so when I think of what brand I want to portray, I think of like Forbes and GQ magazine together.
Hmm. Very
And
cool.
then I put that in my brand.
Very, very cool. So we all had to we all had to pivot. That's become the favorite word of 2020, I think, about how we've done it. And of course, I'm one of them who went from just being able to network locally to now having a now being able to network nationally. So that's kind of how I pivoted. How were you able to pivot during this nasty pandemic?
Well, it's actually been excellent for me from a networking standpoint because I'm now easily able to network with people across the nation, with through various Zoom group calls. And also, I spend less time driving around Atlanta. It felt like before everyone wanted to have meetings in person, right? So if you, I could, I mean, Atlanta is so big, so I would max out at maybe 3 or 4 meetings a day. And now I can take more meetings a day and still serve my clients efficiently. So my productivity has increased. So making sure that my digital presence is stronger. I've invested a lot of money into digital marketing. And before it wasn't that big of a deal because I spoke at so many in-person events. So definitely pivoting my budget to fit the digital marketing needs was the main change that I've had to make in my business.
Hmm. So, what type of clients do you typically serve? What is your main the thing that you really the type of client that you really want to sink your teeth into to get to help them?
My ideal client avatar would be a professional service provider, someone that's bootstrapped their way to 6 figures and they've reached a peak in their business. They feel like they want to grow and scale, but they're already feeling like they're overworking themselves. They want to grow and scale, but they don't want to pay more to the IRS. So I help that business owner create systems in their business to increase productivity. I help that business owner be able to make more money, but actually work less in their business so they can focus on working on their business. I also help that entrepreneur create a customized tax planning strategy that we help them monitor throughout the year so that we can legally minimize their tax liability as much as possible.
It's funny. I've noticed that a lot of people are creating have whatever You ask them when did you start your business? Excuse me, and they'll say, oh, just last month, right after the pandemic started. I mean, a lot of people are just getting started for whatever reason, so they might not be ready for a CPA right now. And they're sitting there thinking, oh man, I probably really need a CPA, but I can't afford it, and yada yada. What should they do to get ready for a person like you in their business?
This is what I tell entrepreneurs when they say, I can't afford a CPA, an attorney, or business insurance. I tell them you cannot afford to go without those things. Those are very important in protecting what you're creating. And so, yes, you might not be able to afford right now a CPA on a monthly retainer, but at least having that consultation with a CPA that is knowledgeable on your industry is going to be very important because that CPA can pretty much guide you and give you a roadmap on where you need to go going forward. Because a lot of times these business owners, they rush into business and they want to DIY the whole thing, and they actually end up going the wrong way or the long way. It's
Right.
like you could take 400, or you can go ahead and take 20 East, then hop on 285 to get to Roswell. Which
Right.
one do you want to do? Because I can help you get on 400 and get
Mm-hmm.
the fast track there. Or you can do it yourself and it'll just take much longer for you to get to where you want to go. So having that consultation at least so you can be moving in the right direction is going to be important. You definitely need to have a your business actually incorporated with your state. You need an EIN, you need a business account, business banking account, because commingling is not something that you want to do. So separate out your business finances from your personal finances. And last but not least, you want to consult with an attorney to actually guide you on the legal structure and the legal documents needed for your new business.
Very cool. So, how can people get a hold of you or refer your services out?
It's so easy to get a hold of me. All you have to do is text CPA to 21,000 and you can reach me, Jayden Doye, CPA.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thanks a lot, Jaden. I really appreciate you spending time with me. It's been enlightening, even for me. I mean, I'm the one who creates these cars, but it's so cool to hear how my clients are using them and getting benefit from them and doing it in different ways. So I really hope that this triggers a lot of other folks to join in and share their stories with it because it's just beneficial to everybody. So I really appreciate it and hope to see you at our next event. So everybody, again, Jaden's information is CPA to 21,000. If you want to learn more about the digital cards, you can text the word Gabe to 21,000. All right, thanks. And we'll
All
sign
right.
off.
You all have a great one.
All right, perfect.